What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome to the Cannabis Closet podcast with CannaQueen. That's me. Oh, I forgot that I have to go way over here. And MJ, that's her. This is an adult content show with no limitations on subject, language, or actions. Opinions, views, and expressions may or may not be that of the hosts, their guests, or their subsidiaries. Please note we are not medical physicians or attorneys, and any information shared is based solely on our personal research and knowledge and experience, etc. Welcome to the show. What's up? What's up? What's up? Oh, you're still muted. You have to unmute yourself. There you go.
Hi.
Hi.
Excuse me. Goodness gracious. My camera's on a different side today, so my angle's all weird.
So it's all weird for you.
Yeah.
My camera's in a different building
What
today.
Up, little body customs?
What's up? What's
That's
up?
a nice little arc you have behind you. It's very
I'm angelic right now. Look how angelic
it's very interesting how it looks. Like it's pretty cool.
I have this backlight light, and it's great. Nuggets with me today. If y'all can see, he was behind me. So I'm in the Marijuana Mansion today in Denver, Colorado. There are events here all the time. You guys should definitely check them out. They have Eventbrite events all the time. They're having one this week for NFT. There's like an NFT cryptocurrency conference going on situation. So that's what we're here for. And we are vending at the happy hour. There we go. That's better. We're vending at the happy hour, which is from 6 to 9. For reference, it's 4:20 right now.
Happy
also,
420.
Happy 420. Light them if you got them. Which, thanks for rolling up and showing up, as we say. So today, because I had to be here and we didn't really have a guest scheduled, we figure we would go over the headlines that we've been putting in every show notes for the last 2 weeks. Because we were hoping to get them, but we just didn't.
Did you get the show notes figured out as far as like for posting? Did you ever?
Yeah. No, I have. So I have the show notes for us for today, but I like to put them into the caption or whatever of the audio files that we load, and we use an application called Anchor. And then it uploads to Spotify, Apple, iTunes, Google, and some other ones as well for us. So anyways, I like to copy and paste the show notes so that I don't miss anything. We got all the information, and we've been really good lately about like getting bios and stuff and making sure that's in there. So I've been lately making sure that the show notes are attached to the audio file. So I'm trying to upload the Deb Nash, which is last week's Monday show. Yes. Wednesday. Last week.
Whatever. Yes.
Anyways, it was 2 shows ago, and you're right, Wednesday. So it was 2 shows ago, and I was trying to upload it, and I can't paste the show notes into the caption area. And the problem with that isn't that I can't like type out some stuff, but like there are links and stuff in there too. So those, generally speaking, are not easy to copy and.
Right. And they didn't like move it to a different section. Like this is your headline and this is your body. Like
right. No, it didn't. I don't know what they did some maintenance on Monday, and now today I can't do this. I don't know what kind of maintenance they did, but I don't know. It just,
I like maintenance, not an update, because an update would mean that it should be better, right?
Yeah, Randy was an amazing guest. Also agree with you. We love having him on. He's so enthusiastic, and he believes in what he's doing so much that he came on the show with a patch on his forehead. Like,
Yeah. Let us
I'm gonna
know
be
if
honest with you.
you go that
Right.
route, and if anything works for you. Like,
I'll be honest with you.
definitely.
It's gonna take a whole lot. It's gonna take a whole lot for me to walk out into public with a patch on my forehead. I'm so vain. I
I don't
probably
think
think
that
this
you don't
song
have
is
to.
about me. Oh, they just turned on the music. Hold on a second.
Oh.
Let's see if they can turn that down a second. Hold on a second. Where's my phone at? Oh, let's see.
Nice little. Hey,
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Well, not
we don't
sorry
own
because
the
this is
rights to
good.
your music. Cause
Let's see. Let's see if April can. We turn.
This dance party brought to you by
So,
Marijuana Mansion.
yeah, it's really loud though. That's the That's the biggest problem with it. And I don't have control over the
I mean, it's not awful on my end. I don't
Okay.
know what others can hear. I can hear you just fine, and maybe it might just be loud for you, like in your, like
Right.
it is overwhelming. I do feel like I have to yell. I don't know.
Right.
If
I
anyone wants to
definitely.
chime in how they are hearing it from
Right.
from the live end.
Let me.
Let's take a dance break. It's fine.
You said
It's
it's
fine.
fine. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Kelly. So I'll just work through it until I can get it turned down. It's good here. Okay, good. I do love it when you call me Big Papa. It kind of threw me off. What were we talking about though? Randy was a
The
great
patch,
guest.
yeah.
Oh, the
In
patches
public,
on the forehead.
and I don't think I think that's the other thing is that there's different places you can put them where they're still effective. He just, yes, he believes in it so much he put one on the forehead for the duration of the show.
Right.
Yes, like, yeah. And I like I was telling you, my mom used to work for a holistic chiropractor, and instead of like doing physical adjustments, in addition to, he would also do like alignment of your chakras. And yeah, I would say 9 times out of 10 it helped with, it was just a headache trick or like sitting, aligning, making breathing. But focusing and yeah, headache gone. So show notes. Oh, can I hear you? Oh, she's like, don't acknowledge as I'm acknowledging. Uh, but let us know.
Sorry, you guys. If we didn't have a technical difficulty, I don't even know we would be a show. I have to because what's happening is now it's drowning you out though. When you're talking to me, I can hear you, but it's like so I'm like, can you turn the music off?
I got you, and I'm yelling,
yeah.
So
so I'm like, whoa, what's happening?
Which for me, I don't, I used to.
Anyway, so today, we're going to be doing a headline show. We're going to just catch up on these headlines. I'm going to try, hopefully, to turn this off in a second. Part of it is because my brain is trying to sing along too with it. Yeah,
like, focus.
My brain is okay.
Over here.
Okay, they've turned it down, so we're good. We're good on that. Yeah. So okay, but we just threw me a little bit. We do have a show to do today, and let's just get rolling into it. We're gonna do headlines today. What I wanted to finish that thought though. I wanted to finish that thought about the thing is that I'm so vain. I will do that stuff in private, but I won't come out in public like with something on my forehead or something like that. Even if it's going to save my life, they could be like, look, it's going to save your whole life. And I'd be like, listen, are we going out in public? because I'm super vain
How long
about
do I have to wear it out in
how
public?
long do I have to wear it in public? Are people going to stare at me about it? I don't like that. And so also I want to try them because I believe him because it's Randy, but also there's like this little part of me that is a skeptic about everything. Like everything is like, because, well, first of all, let's just acknowledge that I grew up in the 80s and 90s, and that holistic, the idea of holistic medicine was like really like put down, and like food, you know what I'm saying? It's
See,
like
and
not
that's the thing is like I grew up on the other side of that being in it,
right.
with for a period of time, and it left an impression because um they made it interesting and actually fun. Like the poop
Yeah.
song was born of this holistic chiropractor that my mom worked for, and and it
Yeah.
just would I and again it's supposed to mean all aspects and not just one thing is going to cure all,
I
right?
believe in the science of what he's talking about, and that's
Yeah,
the thing I
that's
believe in.
yeah.
But when and like when he talks about it, it makes sense. But also, there's just this little part of me that is always on guard, and that part of me is a skeptic about everything.
Well, I mean, it won't hurt if you try it. That's the other side of it is that this is something that won't actually hurt you or have a negative effect
Right.
if or shouldn't. But
So I don't know if you know this, but I'm very interested, as we are, because it's really easy to sell these things to women because society has told us we're supposed to be hairless and you know whatever.
everything's supposed to be
Everything's
uplifted
supposed
and
to be, yeah,
hairless.
right. And we're never supposed to age. Um so those things that like whiten your teeth, the light, the
The
UV light.
guards, yeah.
Yeah. Or the hair remover, that they're selling all over online, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh I want to use those things, and I want to believe that they work, and I also want to believe that they are okay to use. Um there's a part of me that thinks that in 10 years they're going to discover that those things cause cancer.
I would
And
say anything topical or that has to go on my body as far as like a cream or something. No, I'm not buying it from you
right.
online or on a infomercial. Now and the little other,
Yeah, but I'm talking about the ones that have like the light or the laser, that like the
oh,
laser
the
or like
the UV
it
shit.
hits you, and it removes your leg hair, right?
Mm-mm.
I can't,
Mm.
because what if in 10 years they find out that those little blasts were actually waking up the cancer cells in your body or something like that? Something's they always find that shit out later. And
Right,
I said that
right.
the
It's
other
like
day. I said that the other day, and I got laughed at in my own house.
it's like
But
how long do they monitor these
right,
things
and
until we're
and
like,
and
yeah, it's safe.
and I
It's
say this
good.
a lot. I say this a lot, that I don't want to be the first. I don't I don't want to try it first. You guys try it first. We'll see how it turns out. All right? And then if it turns out good, then I'll jump on and I'll try it with you. I'll support the whole thing. But I'm very skeptical about everything, just not that. But I have seen the testimonials on these, and I've heard that these work really well, but I haven't tried them myself yet.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Same.
And
I would, and again, I would. I'm gonna talk to sister about them. And you're like, let's try things.
right.
And how can it, you know,
How
I
can it
mean,
be
and it's not just
beneficial?
one. Yeah. How can it be beneficial? Again, not just one patch saying, yep, this is a cure all. It's like glutathione, like just the idea of that, like if that's like legit, like one of the doctors that I worked with, he did those as IV therapy, so um
They still sell that shit.
They
I burned
still
my legs
do,
on
and
that
it
shit.
still
Nair.
smells to high heaven. Like, we talk about
And
chemicals
any hair
doing
remover smells like
something
that.
to get
They all smell like that.
rid of things. No,
Right.
I would
I
rather
burned
shave till the day, or get, I don't know.
I
Would you get
burned my
electric
legs
hair?
when I
Would you
was
get the?
younger. When I was younger, I burned my legs with the Nair hair remover because I left it on for too long on my
Oh my
thighs.
god. Oh my god.
It burnt. It
No.
was like a road rash on my thighs. It was the worst. It was the
No.
worst.
No. Would you do the like the laser hair removal, like the professional, like one and done, like,
I would do
or
maybe professional because I don't because again, there's this thing like well, they studied it and so
I
maybe
mean,
it would be
they've been doing that for a
right.
while
And I
now.
wouldn't have been the first one in line to do that, but now it's been on for a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I took, shout out to Dr. Betty Dorr, who was a professor, who is a psychology professor at Fort Lewis College in Durango, Colorado. She taught this medical ethics class, and she and that was the lesson I took out of that medical ethics class was like, don't try anything first, like the first hair plugs and the first like face transplant and the first liposuction, and like don't be the first. What's up? Oh, did you bring me joints?
Yeah.
Oh, look at him.
Woohoo. Nice.
Cannabis
You
connoisseur. You
know,
guys go follow him on Instagram. It's cannabis.connoisseur.007, right? It's all dots. Dots.
my ninth grade teacher used to warn against
Yeah.
fair rides, like carnival fair.
Oh, fair rides.
Yeah, like carnival rides and
Yeah.
stuff. And like literally my sister and I were talking about this, and then the Florida State Fair was going on, and they had a ride malfunction, and
did you see there was a recent one, I don't know what state it was in, it could have been Florida or some warm state, where the Ferris, or maybe I was listening to a story or whatever, the Ferris wheel malfunctioned. Maybe it was something I was listening to. And I don't know if you guys know this, but on
the Orlando Eye that they have in Orlando was shut down when I was there, and people had to be evacuated off of it.
So I don't know if you know this, but the Ferris wheel has to be unloaded a specific way because of the weight of it. So that's why they'll like spin you around and not let you off right away, but then let somebody else off. Is because they have to do like certain cars at a certain time to keep the balance.
It's like tire lug nuts.
Yeah. So it was a story that I was listening to where I guess a kid, we've already read our trigger warning. I guess a kid puked on the ride. And so they were going to do like an emergency stop. But when they hit emergency stop, it just started like going uncontrollably on its own. And these are like teenagers that run these rides, right? And so they couldn't get them off. And then when they finally did get the ride stop, there were like, a bunch of customers that were like, let me off right now, like, right. And so they were jumping off of the ride before. And so then it was like, those things are dangerous. So, also, I don't think I can ride roller coasters anymore, which I love roller coasters. But I think the way it whips your neck and your head around, I don't think my body is like about that life anymore. My body's like, fuck that.
Yeah, not the ones definitely not wooden roller coasters. Never ever. I swore those off a while ago because always.
I think I almost died at Circus one time on a roller coaster. On the roller coaster. First of all, what are you doing riding an indoor roller coaster? Adult person, like what? And I don't drink, so I was just
Mountain is an indoor roller coaster. What do you mean? I don't. I've not done circus. I've never. Oh,
that's where it's at. Yeah, the one that almost killed me and gave me like a concussion. Fuck am I riding this thing for? So crazy. So okay, so Lil Bobby Custom said, hey, if you got nothing you're mad about today, I got something I'm mad about. I do have something I'm mad about today. But Lil Bobby Custom said he's mad that people are stealing his ideas like it was their idea, and I guess passing it off on as their own shit, which is bullshit. I agree.
It's
I'm mad
bullshit,
about
and
that too.
it happens, and it's happened, and it happens to women a lot, where the woman will say something and a
I'm
man will
saying,
ignore it, and then a man will say it right next to her, and they'll be like, "Yeah," and you're like,
I want you, Lil Bobby Customs, to consider what you've said about this when you talk to your wife sometimes, and she's giving you an idea, and then when you go talk to your buddies and they give you the same thing, like, remember, she probably told you first.
but also it pisses me the fuck off when it happens. And
Right.
so I am sorry if it happened to you recently, and it's
Yeah, it's bad.
frustrating, and it's not cool.
No, it's not
Um,
cool. So you deserve
especially
to
when
get
it
punched
comes
in your fucking
to especially
throat
when
for
it
doing
comes to
that
art,
shit.
like in the sense maybe artistic talent or some a design, you know, like or even down to, I mean, we've had events stolen, you know, where down to everything being planned out and then being like, oh, you're out, we're
Yeah.
gonna take this event over, and
Yeah, that just happened.
it,
That
yeah.
just happened to me. That just happened to me.
So
So that's why I'm mad today. I'm good.
oh,
Glad. I'm glad you give her credit.
nice little segue.
Nice
Um,
segue. That's why I'm mad today, because I'm mad at the audacity. That's what I'm mad about today. The way that the way that men have the audacity to speak to women, and the way we as a society let them have their way when they do it
and
is
certain kind of, and when we're talking, you know, who certain kind of men are that we're talking about.
y'all know, we not all men, right? Okay, hashtag not all men. Do we should we put that in a disclaimer? We should put that as part of the disclaimer. Hashtag not all men. Like, we're not. That's part of the disclaimer. But no, I just sometimes y'all, not all of y'all, obviously, but the other day I had a face-to-face with a man I did not know, who came in and kind of talked around me about plans for what they were going to do in the space that I was in, and then was like, hey, we're going to do this on this day in the space that you're in. And I was like, I mean, yeah, that sounds cool. And they were like, is that okay? And I was like, you mean like to share the space? And they were like, no, we want the whole situation. And I was like, I mean, I'll share the space. Like, I'm being, you know, I'm
And it's
amenable.
not like you take up a lot of space. The table's a table, and you
Mm,
are you, and it's
yeah.
not like there's a
So
lot.
they were like, no, we want the whole thing. And I go, well, then no. And they were like, well, kind of like, we're the reason this is happening. And I was like, okay, well, then go talk to the coordinator. And then, but like, also, they got their way. And then I'm just like, you know what I'm saying? But then, okay, so, but then after that interaction, they were like, we will. And I was like, cool. And then they were like, oh, by the way, nice to meet you. No, bitch, you did that backwards. You did that all backwards. And also, you y'all don't realize this, because when I say it sometimes to men, they scoff at me. But like, y'all literally do not talk to men this way. You would never do that to a man. He would never done that to a man. There's a couple things that I thought was happening there. One, they did not realize I own this. And two, I'm a woman. So, like, right? And so I'm mad at the audacity. But what do you
Yeah,
do?
like
I just stand up
we
for
didn't plan
myself.
for this. We didn't
Right. We're
plan
the
for this.
coordinator. We put this event on. We didn't plan for this until we already put like
so we saw
a
this
vendor in the
badass
space.
space
Right,
and
right, right, right. Right,
see
right, right.
you in here and oh, by the way, we could
Oh, by the
do
way.
this cool thing.
Right. Right.
Cool, but I
So,
can't be in the room.
right. And also, not for nothing, but the thing that I vend is not easy to move.
Right.
It's not like,
Is anyone going to help you break
yeah,
down and I'm just
I'm just like,
and then
well,
move back in?
yeah, yeah.
Do you know where they're moving you to yet?
I don't know anything, and I don't know anything. I'm just gonna leave it at that right now.
Okay. I'm trying to remember the upstairs hallway, but it is totally escaping my
And
head.
this seems to be a weekly thing, but the other reason I'm super mad right now is because it's fucking snowing again.
I know. I think I saw the warning come through that it's supposed to snow again. I
It's a
told you it was
there's
coming.
a
I told
warning.
you it was coming for you.
Yeah, I know. And you
And
know
I'm
what?
getting
Is
more too.
snowing in Durango again too, and I'm supposed to go there on Sunday. So
Did you look at the forecast out?
after that, it's nice. So hopefully everything is kind of melty.
I mean, I don't know. They're really good
Yeah,
about
while I
clearing
was
their
in town, it
passes
was
over
like
here.
cold. It was like cold while I was in town.
It's still winter.
And then
It's
she's
spring.
like, it's
It's approaching
65
spring.
today.
Hello.
Hello. So
It
those
was
are the reasons.
29 today up here.
Yeah. It's definitely like, yeah, cold temps today too. I haven't looked at the thing, but yeah, but just like the audacity and then to let them have their way. It just, you know, the thing is, I don't care, like, to me, and it was probably a situation where there was probably like an ultimatum, like, if you don't, kind of
Yeah,
thing.
it's I don't
I
even
don't know. I
think
wasn't
that.
privy
I
to that
think
part of the conversation,
I
but
would just say it was this is what I want and I'm, because I am, like you said, then I'm going to get what I want and there probably was not a lot of like pushback,
right. But remember,
because of the
right,
position.
exactly.
And so that's
And
fine.
it just
And
kind of goes to my point that I was making the other day, though, is that you, like, literally what technology has taught us is that you can walk into a room and walk up to a stranger and have the fucking audacity,
yeah,
like, to
to just
pretend they don't
act a
exist and
fool
then
or
make a
to
demand and then be mad when, like, you didn't, like, we could have discussed this before, right?
right. It's
So
basic human courtesy, and you can talk to me like, "Hey, this is like this cool space, and what can we do?" Like,
right,
like just like
yeah,
you would elbow with your crony,
crony,
you
yeah,
can.
exactly.
I can be, good old whatever. Um, Communication, people, it's not hard to
It's
do
not
it
hard,
the same
and it's
way
not
that
hard to be, like,
to be
courteous,
respectful and
right?
courteous. Yeah, just to basic acknowledgement of human decency. um yeah, that's it. That's it.
That's it. That's it.
Basic human decency.
Just it. That's
Be
it. It's proof to my point the other day, though, is like, if you would act like that online, you would act like that in person, and it's shitty, and it's
Yeah, you should. People should ask themselves that because some would be like, "I would never act like that in person." Then why would you do it online just because you're behind a screen?
yeah, right.
And but you know what? With everything being linked the way that it is that you got to be careful what you say online nowadays, people,
Mm-hmm.
because people will hunt you down and ruin you.
Yes, 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 they will.
So there's the
And
other
maybe
side
and
of
maybe that's deserved for the most part.
right. So
If
again,
you,
but
yeah, there's a
like,
lot of that happening.
is it, if it's deserved, then may karma take care of you.
I
Like
know, right? May
swiftly
she have her way with
and
you.
necessarily. Like, um, uh,
So
when does it change? How does it change? Will it ever change? Do we, do we just speak up and say bullshit?
you stop. Well,
Call
that's what I
call
was
the
gonna
bullshit.
say. That's what I was gonna say is that like you paid for a service, right? And I get that you want things a certain way, but also, don't you need vendors for this service? Why would you treat, you know what I'm saying? Just because it's your doesn't
Right,
mean that you, just because it's your thing doesn't mean that you have the right to treat people poorly to get your way. And I think if we
right,
stop letting people get their way when they behave poorly or treat people poorly, then that's when it stops, right? But it's not what happens at all.
right, right.
Um so anyways, let's move on to our history
History
segment.
corner,
I
history
just want
segment.
I just want to post this as part of our history segment. This man,
Ain't never looked
he is
so
51
good.
years old,
Ain't
y'all.
never looked so good.
Look how beautiful this man is. He's 51. This was also um
May karma bless these assholes with their car breaking down and leaving them stranded.
amen.
Amen.
Amen. And those stupid Nikes. Monet Davis, I hope I'm pronouncing her name right. First black girl to play in the Little League World Series. Don't believe this is the first time she's been in the news either. So, so it's also it's Women's History Month also. So I have a couple of women I wanted
to exist.
I wanted to, exactly. So stop treating us like shit, okay? We will shove you right back inside of our vaginas, okay? We'll never let you leave. So I got a couple of clips here. I do have some on Black history and women's history little snippets that I was thinking that we could read over before we get to the news. But I had these videos. Some of them are socially important. One of them is funny and might get us muted, and then the other one is pretty funny too. Not all men, okay? For video 3, okay? Not all men, okay? Thanks. This is probably my favorite. I don't know if I'm gonna play the whole clip, but it's probably my favorite scene in a movie almost ever. Okay, we might get muted. I don't know.
You know, I got some bomb ass kush if you want to take a hit of it before you get on the plane. That should have had you right.
Where did you hide? You know what? Never mind. I'm not even gonna ask.
Fine, I ain't gonna tell you. Okay, I'm gonna tell you. Where the sun don't shine. You know, a lot of people think that means the vagina, but actually, it's the butthole. I got drugs in my booty.
You know what? That can cause a lot of infection.
Girl, you can't get no infection in your booty hole. It's a booty hole.
Okay.
Girl, you can't get no infection in your booty hole. It's a booty hole. For the record, that's not true.
Oh, that movie is great. It is
it's so good. It's so good from start to finish. I was informed today, by the way, that the King Palm code is expired, so I will work on it. It's on the list. Okay.
Well, glad to know that someone is using that King Palm code. See,
that's what's up. I'll get it back working for y'all for sure. This one is more social imperative. A lot of us are going to relate to what this person is saying. If you have an opportunity to vote for this individual, please make sure you always put the pencil and the dot next to her name. This is a little Katie Porter for you guys, and I absolutely fucking love how she demolishes people. So here we go.
Mr. Diamond, you know how to spend $31 million a year in salary, and you can't figure out how to make up a $567 a month shortfall. This is a budget problem you cannot solve. You're an expert on financial statements, and you run a $2.6 trillion bank. I know you're good at numbers, and you've shared lots of opinions recently about how the U.S. should budget its resources, how families should budget their resources. And so I'd like to ask for your help on a problem. I went to monster.com and I found a job in my hometown of Irvine at JP Morgan Chase. It pays $16.50 an hour. And so I wondered if I could, if you'd indulge me, when you do the math on this and you do the $16.50 out at 40 hours a week for 52 weeks a year, it comes out to an income of $35,070. Now this bank teller, her name is Patricia. She has one child who's 6 years old. She claims the one dependent after tax. She has $29,100. We divide that by 12. She rents a one-bedroom apartment. She and her daughter sleep together in the same room. In Irvine, California, that average one-bedroom apartment is going to be $1,600. She spends $100 on utilities. Take away the $1,700, and she has net $725. She's like me. She drives a 2008 minivan and has gas. $400 for car expenses and gas, net $325. The Department of Agriculture says a low-cost food budget, that is ramen noodles, a low food budget is $400. That leaves her $77 in the red. She has a Cricket cell phone, the cheapest cell phone she can get for $40. She's in the red $117 a month. She has after-school childcare because the bank is open during normal business hours. That's $450 a month. That takes her down to negative $567 per month. My question for you, Mr. Diamond, is how should she manage this budget shortfall while she's working full-time at your bank?
I don't know. I'd have to think about that.
Would you recommend that she take out a JP Morgan Chase credit card and run a deficit?
I don't know. I'd have to think about it.
Would you recommend that she overdraft at your bank and be charged overdraft fees?
I don't know. I'd have to think about it.
So I know you have a lot
I'd love to call up and have a conversation about her financial affairs and see if we can be helpful.
See if you can find a way for her to live on less than the minimum that I've described.
Just be helpful.
Well, I appreciate your desire to be helpful, but what I'd like you to do is provide a way for families to make ends meet so that little kids who are 6 years old living in a one-bedroom apartment with their mother aren't going hungry at night because they're $567 short from feeding themselves, clothing them. We allow no money for clothing. We allow no money for school lunches. We allow no money for field trips, no money for medical, no money for prescription drugs, nothing. And she's short $567 already. Mr. Diamond, you know how to spend $31 million a year in salary, and you can't figure out how to make up a $567 a month shortfall.
I could not love Katie Porter more than I mean, I just, if you guys have not ever, she demolishes every conversation. She is a master at being prepared for whoever is about to walk through the door. And absolutely amazing. And a lot of Americans, a lot of Americans live just like what she was saying, in this deficit, in this like perpetual deficit. And, you know, she is proof that we do have politicians that are there for the right reasons and fighting for the people.
Yeah. We need more like her.
More like her. Yeah, I love her. So if you have an opportunity to vote for her, I'm not sure what state. I can look it up real quick here in a minute, but she is amazing, and she just demolishes them every time. She does it every time. She just they don't want her on the committee.
No, they don't want her speaking, and that's
He said, well, we try to help her out.
But like, what about the millions of other families that are living like this?
You can do this on a one-by-one basis, or maybe you could just pay them a livable wage.
Yeah. So
you know. And then this is just funny. It's just funny. Not all men. Happy Women's History Month.
What's the most embarrassing thing you pretended to like for a man?
Seinfeld.
His friends.
Baseball and basketball and football and soccer.
Skrillex.
Where is that man?
There was just one man. I don't even know what it was, but a guy I had a crush on was like hella into Skrillex, and I was like, that's so crazy. So am I.
La La Land.
How many times did you have to watch it?
Okay, I do like it now.
It started as a bit, and now it's serious.
Well, the thing is problematic as a jazz film without black people in it, but it is catchy.
Motorcycles.
Did you buy one?
Oh, yeah.
Did you get your motorcycle license?
Yeah.
Caviar and tartar, stuff like that. I was trying to act like I was like highbrow. And I wanted to throw the fuck up.
His jokes.
Living with my ex. Yeah, I pretended for a very long time that I did not mind that, but I did mind that a lot.
Pretended to like rugby, but then I ended up liking it, so...
You tricked yourself.
The fucking Super Bowl? Sit through it, and I'm like, oh my god, are they winning? I don't know what that is.
You're like, there's four... What's the most embarrassing thing you pretended to like for a man?
Seinfeld.
His friends.
Baseball and basketball and football and soccer.
Skrillex.
Where is that man?
There was just one man. I don't even know what it was, but a guy I had a crush on was like hella into Skrillex, and I was like, that's so crazy. So am I.
La La Land.
How many times did you have to watch it?
Okay, I do like it now.
Are we
It
repeating
started as a bit,
yeah.
and now it's serious.
Well, the thing is problematic as a jazz film without black people in it, but it is catchy.
Motorcycles.
Did you buy one?
Oh, yeah.
CannaQueen.
Did you get your motorcycle license?
Yeah.
It's repeating.
Caviar and tartar, stuff like that. I was trying to act like I was like highbrow. And I wanted to throw the fuck up.
His jokes.
It's not
Living
repeating,
with
I'm
my
letting it
ex.
to the end.
Yeah, I pretended for a very long time that I did not mind that, but I did mind that a lot.
Pretended to like rugby, but then I ended up liking it, so...
You tricked yourself.
The fucking Super Bowl? Sit through it, and I'm like, oh my god, are they winning? I don't know what that is.
You're like, there's 4 quarters?
Literally. Oh my god, and then the time...
Oh yeah, it says there's like 5 minutes left.
And
That
then I'm
takes
there for
40 minutes.
minutes. Yeah, the worst.
I don't pretend to like anything about a man. I have a vagina. That is literally their job, to pretend to like things about me. It's a one-way street of pretending to like. I don't do that.
A feminist icon.
That I liked him.
Okay, sorry that played twice. MJ, your screen is black again. You're probably going to have to go back out and come back in. It went black right at 5 o'clock, so I don't know what it is about that time that is, like, special on your phone.
Right.
I played it. I accidentally hit the button, and that's why I let it play through the second time, because those last two were so hilarious, and I didn't want them to miss. So, yeah, that's why I played it a second time. But, yeah, those are some TikToks that I found today that I thought were hilarious. Please don't ask Michelle this question. Now I want to ask her this question the most. There were 2 stories that I wanted to touch on today. I got them in the show notes for Black History. And one of them is Black Present, whatever. It's not history. It's happening right now. Let's see.
Can't get out of my screen.
So while you're figuring that out, I'm going to see if I can share this screen. If we're having technical difficulties today, let's see them. Let's see here. Share screen. And this one, we're going to share this screen. Okay, so this is a story I found the other day. Ex-convict opens a vegan donut shop, and it's the first ever Black-owned business in Brooklyn Heights, New York City. He was formerly incarcerated for 11 years, and he's now the founder and CEO of Cloudy Donut Company. So if you're in the Brooklyn Heights, New York City area, go check that donut company out, Cloudy Donut Company, a vegan donut shop that just became the first ever Black-owned business in Brooklyn Heights, New York, where the population is 72% white. Their donuts are 100% vegan. They're made with ingredients such as applesauce, coconut milk, and shortening instead of animal products. The goal for me is to show that an ordinary Black man can do extraordinary things. This thing is blocking where I can read it. We are the first and we are the only, but we won't be the last. It officially opened its first shop in Baltimore, Maryland in 2020. In 2020, and that was a vegan donut shop as well, near a brunch restaurant. Let's see. Sorry, I just skipped ahead. Says was inspired to into the venture of the vegan business when he became a regular at a local vegan donut shop in Baltimore near a brunch restaurant that he owns called Homemade. He reached out to the owners in a business partnership for a business partnership, but was surprised when they told him they were actually selling the business. He took a look at the opportunity. He revamped the branding, and he kept it going, and he renamed it. So we have this
plant-based. That's
it's
cool.
Yeah, it's all plant-based. So these stories are all in the show notes. They've actually been in the show notes for the last few shows. But if you want to take a look at these stories, they're in the show notes as well. So I thought that one was really interesting. And then this other one is actually kind of a localish thing that I didn't even know. And I lived in Durango for right on the edge of 11 years. So we were right at 11 years. And
I saw this.
I did not know this, which is such an interesting piece of history. So the Strader Hotel is a hotel that is located in Durango, Colorado. It's also haunted, so there's some history on that too. But they are on the Green Book list of safe haven sites for African American travelers. So if you don't know what the Green Book list is, it's literally a book that was created. There were certain travelers that would go out and they would notate where they were safe to travel to and where it was very unsafe. There are still sundown towns in the United States that are not safe for travel. But this was very important for people of color to be able to go from one space to another, to know where they would be safe to stop and do overnights and things like that. Or if they had to like hurry up and get through and try not to get pulled over, etc., or if they should avoid it altogether. So History Colorado will be visiting sites across the state identified as safe havens for African American travelers in the famous Jim Crow era travel guide, The Green Book. And the historic Strader Hotel is one of the listed locations. It was sort of an anomaly, wasn't it? Said a Durango resident, Rod Barker, whose family owned Strader for 95 years, only recently selling the property to new owners. I mean, that definitely wasn't the case everywhere, and it was a bold initiative for them to do that, and certainly could have yielded some reprisals. Yeah, because Durango is a very small town now, so back then, it could have come with some reprisals, but clearly they were able to do it. In fact, the Strader Hotel was one of only 2 businesses in Southwest Colorado to allow African American patrons, according to a survey done by the Colorado Historical Foundation research team. So even in the town, they were like the only hotel that was available.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. So absolutely, they were putting themselves at risk too by offering the rooms. The other was the Sunset Motel, which was once located in the northern section of Durango. I guess that just shows the spirit of hospitality goes back a long ways and is more than skin deep, and I think that's wonderful. Improvements in affordability of automobiles had more Americans traveling than ever during the 1920s and 1930s, though non-white Americans often struggled to find restaurants, hotels in unfamiliar areas that would serve them or let them stay the night. So in 1936, Victor Hugo Green, a black postal worker in the New York City neighborhood of Harlem, began to identify and document restaurants and hotels that were friendly to African Americans in the New York area, calling it the Negro Motorist Green Book. His efforts expanded to businesses that would welcome African American travelers along the East Coast and in the heavily segregated southern states, as well as warning them away from sundown towns or areas that did not allow black motorists after dark. Over the years, Green tracked more locations in western regions of the U.S. that would accept African American customers, according to History.com. In 2019, the Colorado Historical Foundation began to study, document, and publicize historical sites within the state associated with African American travel during the Jim Crow era from the late 1800s until the 1960s. That time frame, I just want y'all to sit back and let that sink in. Okay? I just want you to let that sink. When racial segregation was at its peak, from the 1800s to the 1960s. And also, that wasn't that long ago.
That was not that long ago.
The critical work, similar to historical studies being conducted in the National Theater, seeks to expand and supplement the historical record for sites such as Lamar's Alamo Hotel, Pueblo's Coronado Motel, the Strader Hotel in Durango, and the Chipeta Cafe in Montrose. Colorado locations like Strader Hotel attracted the attention of the nonprofit organization because of its mentions in the Green Book. Awarded a $75,000 grant by the National Park Service in December, History Colorado State Historic Preservation Office will be traveling to sites identified by the Green Book for more in-depth studies. Currently, only 8% of the locations listed on the National Register of Historic Places represent minority and marginalized communities, and only 5% of those places in those communities are listed in Colorado's State Register of Historic Places. Barker is not surprised by his family's welcoming nature toward African American customers. He said his father put the hotel in the Green Book in 1962 as a place welcoming Blacks in their travels in a previous interview with Colorado Public Radio. He said one of the rooms that we named at the Strader is after a Black citizen, Frank Fitzhugh, who worked at the First National Bank at the Strader. Barker said Fitzhugh, the oldest son of freed slaves, was a popular Durango resident, and a savvy businessman. He actually did quite well in the community. He was known for buying into shares of mines in different businesses. Barker and Fitzhugh became famous for thwarting the efforts of would-be bank robbers who had their eyes set on First National Bank of Durango. Frank was accosted by some local thugs who were there to hold up the bank after hours. They wanted him to make sure that they could get in, and I guess in no uncertain terms, let him know that that should he not cooperate, things would go bad for him. He was unpersuaded to help the local gang members. He went to the president of First National Bank and let them know what was going on. They set up everything, and at night the thugs came and opened the door to the bank, and inside was the sheriff, and they were all arrested.
Oh.
So a little bit of Durango, Colorado history. I really love that. I thought that was a fantastic story. I just wanted to share it because, I've been to the Strader before. And it's really an interesting hotel, and the wallpaper is, whoa. But it's also haunted too. So if you're into ghost stories, go check out the history of the Strader Hotel in Durango, Colorado.
I'm trying to remember if that's the hotel that let us do a clinic there.
They might have.
We definitely did a clinic at one of the historical hotels. Interestingly enough.
Yeah, I love the Strader. It's great. It's got a lot of historical relevance, and a lot of the buildings do in Durango. It's really kind of cool. This next story is a women's history story, and I just wanted to read it real quick because I just thought it was so fucking hilarious. And the excuses that they make for not including us in the games is absolutely asinine to me. But let me share this because we're going to talk about peeing in space. I don't know if you guys saw this post, but it was on Instagram a few days ago. And I guess it's a thread on Twitter, actually. It was a Twitter thread, and somebody put it onto Instagram. So let's talk about peeing in space. Several people, in response to my New York Times essay, have said that women couldn't go into space because we lack the technology for them to pee in space. So let's just talk about that. When the Mercury program was proposed, doctors were worried that people would not be able to urinate or even swallow without the aid of gravity. And yet they still made plans to send a man into space. And when Alan Shepard became the first American man to go into space, it was scheduled to be a 15-minute mission. Up, hello, space, back down. They made no plans for peeing. Launchpad delays meant that Shepard hit a point where he needed to go badly. He asked Mission Control for permission to go in his suit, and after consultation with flight surgeons and suit technicians, they gave him permission to do so. So he wet himself and still went into space. Later, they solved that problem by developing a sheath that looks much more like a condom. It worked great in testing, but when astronauts needed to actually use it, the sheath kept blowing off and leaving them peeing in their suits. Was this about extended time in spacesuit? The sheaths came in, no, that's not what it was about. The sheaths came in small, medium, and large, and it turns out all of the men were saying that they needed large sheaths. They did not. Subsequently, the astronauts called the sheaths extra large, immense, and unbelievable. They had to tape a bag to their ass to poop, and that worked well for Gemini and Mercury. And by well, I mean there was still urine in the capsule, and it stank of feces. Apollo needed a different solution. Alas, they still had to poop in a bag, but for peeing, they could slip on the condom and attach to a valve, turn on the valve, and have their urine sucked into the vacuum of space, if you time it right.
Oh my gosh.
Open the valve a fraction too late and the urine escapes and floats around the cabin. Open it too early in the vacuum of space, reach through the valve and grabs your manhood. Apparently the venting of pee into space very pretty. It catches the sunlight and sparkles. For the spacewalks, the Apollo astronauts were back to condoms that collected the pee in a bag in the suit. Buzz Aldrin was the second man on the moon, but the first to pee there. During Apollo 13, everyone who has seen the movie knows that Fred Hayes got sick. Do you know why, though? After the accident, they couldn't use the regular vent because it needed to be heated to keep the pee from freezing. The alternate system caused droplets to float around the ship. Mission Control told them to stop dumping pee. It wasn't meant to be a permanent ban, but the crew didn't understand that. So they were stashing pee in every bag or container possible. The fastest options was to store it in collection bags they wore in their suits. Hayes kept his on for hours and hours, basically bathing in pee. He got a UTI and then a kidney infection. Finally, a decade later, NASA decides to send a woman into space. Now they have a reason to come up with how to handle peeing in space if you don't have a penis. To launch and for the spacewalk, they developed a MAG, maximum absorbency garment. It's a diaper. Y'all remember that astronaut that drove across, that crazy lady?
Yes,
and she wore
female,
a diaper?
yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, she wore those astronaut diapers. Okay.
Yep.
The men switched over to using those because it was more comfortable and less prone to leave pee floating around in the cabin than a condom sheath. They also developed a 0G toilet so that the astronauts no longer had to tape a bag to their ass. Peeing and pooping in space is now a lengthy process involving a fan, a targeting system, and a fair amount of prayer. Fun pooping in space fact, without gravity, the poop doesn't break off as it exits your body. You have to reach back and help it with some special gloves. Peeing is a little more straightforward. It's basically a funnel, a tube, a bag, and a fan for suction. Sometimes, though, the toilet breaks down, and at that point, they return to using relief bags taped to their ass and manual urine contaminant. During malfunction, it is also possible for giant floating glob of pee to exit the toilet. Fun fact, due to chemicals, it is bright purple and acidic. Fun fact, Poop regularly escapes, which is why you never eat a milk dud found floating in the ISS. All of which is to say that the reason women didn't go into space and had nothing to do with the lacking of technology to pee. We didn't have technology for men to pee in space when they started either. And some days the best solution is still a diaper or a bag taped to the ass. It's as if is it 4:20 on the it is. Woo woo woo. I finished that right on time. I finished that right on time. So that's a fun story, right?
Yeah, and then again, we still have millionaires being like, I went to space.
Yeah.
You know, it takes a
Listen.
whole million team of people, not million, but it takes a huge ass team of people to keep one person alive in space. It does.
Let me tell you this. If you can afford to go to space, you can afford to pay your employees a livable wage. That's real.
For real. Happy 420.
Happy 420. Well, I do want to get to a couple stories before I have to head out and start running this booth. This show is brought to you today and every day by Queen Kitty. Pop this kitty, put it in your mouth. You see on the corner up there. This is a low dose CBD seltzer. It tastes like water. It has 10 milligrams of CBD and no sugar and no sweeteners and no THC and no yak in the back. So it's just a nice, refreshing water. CBD is really great for like helping with social anxiety and helping you just relax in general. It helps with inflammation, although we can't put that on the label. So get yourself a CBD seltzer and pop this kitty, put it in your mouth. We have 3 flavors. We have Nearly Naked, we have Lemon Kiss, and we have Bubblegum Burst. You can find us at queenkittyseltzer.com or solo.to/queenkittyseltzer. Pop this kitty, put it in your mouth. We're also brought to you by CQ LLC. CQ LLC is a cannabis education company. We are licensed to do responsible vendor training in the state of Colorado. If you or your crew needs, compliance training or responsible vendor training, or just general training in product understanding, give us a call, 970-426-5985. This is a reminder to hydrate. I'm trying to not cough so hard.
Queen Kitty Cup, get it on Queen Kitty.
QueenKitty.com. QueenKittySeltzer.com.
Seltzer.com.
Yeah, QueenKittySeltzer.com. And if you like what you see here, follow us on our other platforms, solo.to/cannabiscloset420. You can come hang out with us in Discord. You can listen to us later on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts, and other podcast stations. And you can follow us on all of our social media. We're having a good time. So come say hi. And with that, let's talk about a couple of news stories. We're just moving right along.
Moving right along.
Did you see this thing? So there's 2 stories out of Colorado. Did you see this where they're allowing vending machines now?
I did see the article, and I thought that vending machines have existed. I didn't read this to see what was different from what other things have happened or been touted as. So
yeah, so I thought the same thing, and then I was like, wait. The governor of Colorado is promoting the state's first ever marijuana vending machine, which can package, label, and dispense. Oh, maybe that's it. Maybe it was just like before. I think they were labeling the other ones as vending machines where you could just put your order in. Like you put your order in, and then you still had to go to a dispensary agent or a bud tender to get your order.
The one that was up here, it was inside the dispensary, so you still had to get checked in. You still went in. It just gave you an option to use a machine versus talking to the dispensary agent.
Right.
And
Could you get the bud out of the machine though?
I don't think it would, and it was limited products, so it
Yeah.
wasn't even like the whole thing. And that's whew, look at that thing.
That thing's full up. So I think that's the difference, is that the vending machines before didn't vend anything. They were just electronic order takers. So you still had to interact with the dispensary agent.
Yeah, I don't know. The one that here, it never really worked. So I don't think,
Yeah.
I don't know. Also, it
That's-
was like,
that's-
it was, the concept was there like this. The concept
I
was
remember
there.
my friend Ryan that you met while we were in Durango last time. He was working with a company that was doing the vending machine thing, and that was it. That was the thing. It was like you still had to interact with the bud tender, but you can make your order through the machine.
Mm-hmm.
But this one dispenses actual flowers.
Triple check.
So that's kind of cool. I don't know how I feel about it. So the other day I'm not going to name any names, but the other day I went to a dispensary and they had all prepackaged flour, and I did not buy any at all. What's up?
It's hard. I mean, that is my only option up here.
Yeah.
If I don't go out of my area.
But like, how I was like, can I smell it? And she was like, well, there's a little hole in the side of the bag. What? So I can like squeeze the air out and you can smell it that way. No, what?
And then you get to crush. Yeah, you get to crush what's inside.
So you're gonna crush what's inside. Exactly. I couldn't do it.
That's even worse than like the scratch and sniff is fun, but it's not what you're. Yeah, it's not.
So apparently we're also launching a program to fund marijuana industry energy efficiency in Colorado. So I'm not going to get too much into this, but today we announced the launch of our cannabis resource optimization program, CROP, to help reduce energy costs for cannabis cultivators in Colorado. And they have this whole layout. I haven't read this yet. It seems like a boring but short read. We will have it posted in the show notes. Cannabis is legitimate business in Colorado and 20 other states, yet cannabis businesses are completely shut out of financing opportunities that are available to industries. So I don't know. Colorado lawmakers earmarked $1.5 million for CROP in a bill signed into law last year. There's apparently another podcast going on in the room next to us. It's a bunch of white dudes like super excited about NFTs and stuff. So I don't know. So the new yeah, just take a look at this. I haven't really read over this article, to be very honest with you. I just saw it. I thought it was kind of interesting.
It seems pretty positive as far as like what it's funding or how it's funding and how it's helping cultivators. It actually is a program to help with the whole energy costs.
Right. So it's supposed to help decrease energy costs.
It's like, what does it come along with?
Right. Right. I'll look over this and read over this press release and kind of come back to you guys with that one. Thank you. What's up, Daryl? Yeah, prepackaged cannabis is just I don't know.
It's not fair because what's presented or not even presented. I mean, when I was in town, my friend is a patient and she got some and I smelled it and I was like, there was no smell. It smelled like grass cuttings from a lawn, not in the good way. Not in the way. And so I was like, where, what? And we ended up like crushing it up and mixing it with other stuff that was available from another place.
Right. And let me tell you the problem with that is what I'm smoking right now is the problem with that. I actually did get a chance to smell this and it smelled more lemony, but it does have those tangy undertones because tangy is such a strong cultivar. It's got such strong genetics. It just kind of takes over everything. Now it's all I can taste about it. But if I can't smell it, and then you're giving me, and I asked about this one. Does it taste or smell like Tangy? She said no. But it's very evident. Like, you can smell it in the air. When I smoke it, I can taste it on my tongue, right? So it's very evident. And so now you're telling me I can't take your word for it, and I can't smell it.
And that's the unfortunate, is it that she doesn't, or they don't have the opportunity to try it because their dispensary doesn't make it available to them.
Right. So
You know, I think
tell me
things have
lies.
changed. It's
Tell me
not like,
lies. Tell me sweet
right.
little lies.
And you would like to think that they're trying everything, but some are very new. Some have not had the opportunity
Some
to.
don't smoke flower.
Some don't flower. Some you know, a lot of factors go into it. But also, it's like, if you don't know, just say it, and let me, you know, then talk to someone who has. And that's the
Right.
thing. I'm like, what is the effect it has given you? If you're telling, you know, like, as well as what are the, you know, terpenes? What are
Right. I'm just kind of going down the list right now, but if there was anything on the list that you wanted to like give specific attention to, just let me know and we'll go jump down. This one, the DEA states that Delta 9 THCO, Delta 8 THCO are not hemp. First of all, they're not even real. I mean,
they're not even cannabinoids. Like,
somebody looked me in my face yesterday and told
that's
me
like spice being called spice, when spice used to be an actual cultivar, and now you can't use the word spice anymore because spice is gross. Yeah, like the damaging, you know, like, don't use.
So yesterday, somebody looked me in my face, told me that CBD. I used to smoke CBD carts all the time. They started giving me a headache, and I was like, oh, pause. Where did these cards come from?
Yeah, where are you getting these cards?
Like you're from the south, the southeast, and then it, you know, the gas station. Whoa! Don't buy shit from the gas. Don't buy shit like that from the gas station. What are you doing?
Buy from the gas station.
And so this stuff right here is very dangerous because it shows up in the gas station. Remember, what was the cannabinoid? Do you remember what the cannabinoid was that they were trying to hype at the trade show in that little park?
HHO, like, well,
the
HHO or something like
something
that.
Like that, or
and
HHP, like, or something PC. I don't know.
There were a couple of new, and again, trying to piggyback on, and it's just like, no, that's not.
It was, and so I was like, what is it? And they were like, it's a cannabinoid and it's legal in all 50 states. And that's literally what they said. That was their line.
I don't even think they said cannabinoid.
They did not say cannabinoid. You're right.
They said hemp derived. It's hemp derived.
It's like, it's hemp derived. It's like THC, but it's a hemp derived. How did she say it? She didn't say cannabinoid. You're right.
She did not use the words.
And she did not use any of the words. And then she said, and it's legal in all 50 states.
And we can ship it. So we can ship it. And
so we can
like,
ship
that's
it.
not why I need it. Yeah, or
right.
want this. Or, yeah.
So yeah. So the DEA is starting to kind of crack down on that. Let's see what they say. In an email response to Rod Kite of Kite Law, the DEA stated that because Delta 9 THCO and Delta 8 THCO are synthetic and are not found naturally in cannabis, they do not count as hemp and are therefore controlled substances.
And so, like, again, talking about chemicals in your body, like, don't.
Yeah, it feels gross to think about it.
I was listening to this podcast of a patient, and he was talking about heavy metal toxin overload, and that's what he's, you know, his story is about, and that, you know, genetically he his body doesn't rid him of the heavy metal toxins that enter into our bodies,
Mm-hmm.
just not, you know, and also, like, he was exposed to, you know, so all these things, and so that it talks about his journey. But yeah, you can't just be introducing things into your body that don't like,
Y'all, I won't even wipe my
just for a
teeth with one
high.
of those
Just
machines.
for
Like,
a high,
right.
just for a high. Like, why?
Why? You can buy, it says you can buy Delta 8 pre-rolls and vape carts in some of the smaller gas stations in Florida. Yeah, because they're super under the radar.
And you don't know what you're really getting. That's
You
just a
don't.
label. There's no
Yeah.
regulation on this. There's no testing. Show me the testing then. And
Yeah.
they're not going to do that. And if it is, it's fudged.
Terrence L. Booz, which is great. Chief Drug and Chemical Evaluation Section, Diversion Control Division. Jeez. Can we shrink that? Can we get an acronym?
Can we get an acronym for that?
Penned the response and clarified the agency's stance on Delta products, the only substances of which the DEA is aware of. The THC acetate ester are Delta 9 THCO and Delta 8 THCO. The DEA, reviewed the CSA, which is the Controlled Substances Act, and it's implementing regulations with regard to the control status of these substances. He explained that the CSA classifies tetrahydrocannabinols, or THC, as naturally contained in the plant of the genus cannabis, as well as synthetic equivalents of the substance contained in the cannabis plant and or synthetic substances, derivatives, and their isomers with similar chemical structure and pharmacological activity to those substances contained in the plant. Because of this definition, neither Delta 9 THCO nor Delta 8 THCO are considered to be hemp by the DEA. They do not occur naturally in the cannabis plant and can only be obtained synthetically, and therefore do not fall under the definition of hemp. So they have to be able to, even if it's created synthetically, let's say we got CBG, for example, and we wanted to test, or CBDA, for example. It's hard to gather those and test them. So they create a synthetic of it so that they can do the testing and the research on it to make sure that it's a working, what could it work on? So they're making an identical out of something that it occurs naturally. Yeah, they're taking the naturally occurring chemical and just expanding it. So that's what they're doing. But
kind of like the man-made gems. They're taking all the same natural components and they're creating it themselves. Yeah, but instead of waiting for the natural process.
Get a manufactured diamond. Come on, you guys. It's 2023. So yeah, what they're saying is these particular compounds are only created synthetically and therefore do not fall under the definition. Delta 8 products were banned in New York in May of 2021. Ohio created new rules to govern Delta 8 products in June of 2021, including production and sales. A new law introduced in Michigan in July of 2021 also created regulations that limit the sale of Delta 8 products in only cannabis businesses that were licensed by Michigan Marijuana Regulatory. So they're like, if you're going to sell it, you got to sell it under us. And later in November of 2021, a Texas judge issued a temporary injunction that removed Delta 8 from the state's list of Schedule 1 substances. Weird. Because they were fighting. I don't know. It's weird. In May of 2022, governmental agencies such as the FDA sent out warning letters to businesses about Delta 8. They were concerned about the popularity of it being sold online and in stores nationwide. These products often include claims that they treat or alleviate side effects, etc. They can't do that because they've not been cleared through. You just can't do it on food products at all. You can't do that. In a most recent string of Delta-related news, Connecticut Attorney General William Tong recently announced that his office was suing 5 retailers selling cannabis without a license, specifically in relation to Delta 8 THC. Cannabis products in Connecticut cannot be sold by unlicensed retailers and must meet rigorous testing and packaging requirements. So, again, this is in the show notes, so check it out, along with a bunch of other stories that we're definitely not going to get to today.
I have one I want to do.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm going to hydrate while you do it.
All right. So this falls in, if it's on the internet, must be true, section that you set aside. Twitter to allow THC, CBD, and related ads in the US. This is huge. And so again, this is from High Times, Benjamin Adams. Twitter's the first major platform to allow cannabis-related ads with a handful of restrictions. So as most of you know, many of you know, at least where we're at, you cannot advertise on billboards or in any way that entices or lets people know what you are, like in the visual sense. And so anyway, things have changed. So in a seismic shift away from the way nearly all major social media platforms handle cannabis ad-related content, Twitter announced it will be the first to allow cannabis-related ads based in the U.S. It announced that it will allow advertisers to promote branded and informational cannabis-related content under the following categories: CBD and similar cannabinoid products, THC and similar products, as well as cannabis-related products and services such as delivery services, labs, grow technologies, search engines, and events. The cannabis and ad policy move changes everything for businesses with the money to advertise. Toronto, Ontario-based AdCan in Canada was first to break the news. Up until now, only CBD topical brands were permitted to advertise on Twitter's platform. AdCan wrote, moving forward, the social network will allow for the promotion of regulated THC and CBD containing cannabis products, accessories, services, and more. It announced, AdCan continued, American cannabis companies, brands, and purveyors will need to pass through a Twitter advertiser approval process to ensure they are legitimate and educated on the platform. Once approved, industry marketers will have access to Twitter's entire suite of advertising products, including promoted tweets, promoted product opportunities, location-specific takeovers, in-stream video sponsorships, and partner publication features. And so, how everyone's reacting in the industry. PAX, makers of industry standard devices like the PAX Pro, is among the first brands to advertise cannabis-related content on Twitter. Does anyone Twitter? I'm not a Twitterer.
You know what I found out last night? We do Twitter, but we don't Twitter, but we have a Twitter account. So somebody was like, I don't have, I don't know. I'm going to have to link it to our Instagram because somebody was in here last night and I was like, follow our Instagram. They were like, I don't have Instagram. And then he was like, do you have Twitter? And I was like, I don't think so. And then they pulled up our link and the Twitter was on there. And I was like, I totally forgot that I made that profile.
Well, there you go. Yes, I do vaguely remember that was something.
Yep.
Everyone's looking at this as an opportunity to just destigmatize and normalize the plant, which we should be doing anyway, always. Let's see. Twitter posted the policy update on its drugs and drug paraphernalia section on the website, which outlines the process for advertisers promoting cannabis products. We permit approved cannabis, including CBD cannabinoids, advertisers to target the United States, and it does have restrictions. So they must be licensed by the appropriate authorities. They can only target jurisdictions in which they are licensed to promote these products or services, so probably within their state or area. Advertisers may not promote or offer the sale of cannabis. The exception, ads for topical, non-ingestible hemp-derived CBD topical products containing equal or two less than the 0.3% THC government set threshold. Advertisers are responsible for complying with all applicable laws, rules, regulations, and advertising guidelines, and they may not target customers under the age of 21.
Yeah. Definitely, again, check out the rest of that story. This is historical because like you said, we have not, just generally speaking, been able to advertise even little things, like we one time put a cannabis leaf on the window of the shop. It was when I was brand new, and they were like, just scrape it off. I was like, okay. But like, it was, what I'm saying? Like, we can't even do that kind of stuff.
No, I mean, talk about a whole arm of journalism having to be created because we're not allowed to advertise.
Right.
And so kudos to the people that stepped up and created magazines so that we have,
so we have a place to do that. Right.
And to be seen. So, because it's not just the plant, it's the art and the culture around it.
Mm-hmm.
That deserves to be shared, plus the medicinal breakthroughs and what it's doing to help people, and to again keep on destigmatizing. It's every day we talk about this, like we want to normalize this. I will smell like it, and if you're going to comment on it, yes, because it's just the same thing as if I were to squirt lavender all over myself, or whatever other oil that helps me to because it does. If you whether you like it or not, people, smell matters too.
Yeah. I love walking into a space and seeing all the heads turn because I smell like I just smoked a blunt, because I did, and you smell like you missed out. So there's people starting to kind of trickle in or whatever. So the event starts in like 15 minutes or whatever. So I was
happy
just thinking,
hour.
Yeah, happy hour from 6 to 9. So we might cover some of these other stories in a future episode, but generally it's definitely in the show notes and everything. You can go click.
Yeah.
We have some upcoming events. I'm going to be here at the Marijuana Mansion from yesterday, February 28th to March 4th for the Web3 conference, happy hour from 6 to 9. On March 26th, we're going to be attending an event with the Sesh Connection. So we'll be attending an event. We'll have more details for that soon. And I will be celebrating a birthday on March 12th. So we're going to go party like rock stars that weekend. I'm pretty excited because we are rock stars. And I also didn't think that this was coming. So anyways, join us for the events if you can. Definitely join us for the shows in between. We haven't gotten scheduled for these other shows. That's why I haven't put them in here yet. But coming soon. So we have some would you rathers today. I think they're pretty good. I don't know if you got a chance to look at them or not.
I did not, and my eyes are not focusing right now.
So would you rather, the first one. So we have a I don't know how to categorize them. Would you rather be chronically underdressed or chronically overdressed?
Overdressed.
But that means that in your living room you're dressed. You can't do the sweatpants.
Yeah, but that means out in public that even doesn't matter. You're always underdressed, and that doesn't do well for the.
Yeah, I would have to be overdressed too, I think, even though I really do love being in sweatpants and dressing up some sweatpants too.
And chronically doesn't mean always. It just means that, yes, chronically.
It means that you do it chronically. What's up,
breaks?
guys?
You have breaks, right?
Right. So yeah, I guess I would be chronically overdressed.
Yeah, I'd always rather just a touch too much.
Like always just a little style. Would you rather get a paper cut every time you turn a page or bite your tongue every time you eat?
What if you just use books on your phone?
No. Any pages, though. Any paper that you touch, any pages.
On paper on your phone.
Yeah. You're trying to get around it, and this is a condition that you're going to have in your life. I can't bite my tongue every time, but paper cuts make me have to sit down and think about life.
Yeah, I would, but I still I would still go with paper cut because I don't like biting my tongue. Nope.
Because then you have that like little sore on your tongue. I don't like it.
Nope.
I think there's a song about
I burnt the crap out of my mouth before we started the show because I took a big sip of my cup.
Oh my God.
And I had just dumped hot water in there and I had to spit it out before
to burn
it's
the roof
still
of your
enveloped
mouth
my-
and have that hanging skin in your mouth.
the whole
is
mouth. It
the
was
worst
like,
thing on the planet. I think I would have to do paper cuts.
delicious.
Yes, really. This is the question. I think I would have to do paper cuts also.
Yeah.
Okay, I have one more, but this one's kind of funny. Okay, so if this were if this were possible and your genitals could talk.
You put your down there like to me.
If your down there could talk, would you rather it only spoke in riddles or it only beatboxed?
Beatbox the whole way, baby. Beatbox.
I beatbox all the way. I'm a gangster, bitch. Sometimes it does beatbox. Well, we talk about that on a different show. Be singing you a song of my people.
Only talks and riddles. That would be pretty
That
funny.
would be so annoying. You'll never get laid like that.
Unless you like someone that or find someone that likes riddles.
Unless somebody likes funny crotch, funny beatbox all the way. All the way. Maybe I could get a record deal.
Oh goodness.
There it is.
And there it is, y'all.
There it is. That's the show today.
It's been a good Wednesday.
It was a good show.
Happy Wednesday.
I'd be beatbox battling.
Beatbox battling.
Me too. Like having before you get down to shit, having like a battle. Whoever wins the battle gets on top.
That's how you conduct meetings. It's just
yeah. Excuse me. She's talkative today. Oh my goodness, you guys, it's been a great show. Part of it's probably going to get muted. I'm just going to be honest with y'all.
I know. Probably should start
just
that
what
with
it is.
Add that to the beginning.
Hey, it's part of the deal. We said that we are the queens of technical difficulties. So why look at the red light. It looks like I'm about to
I know it's been a pretty cool process of how the light has changed behind you.
I like it.
Throughout the show.
If you're in Denver and you can attend an event at the Marijuana Mansion, I encourage you to do so. If you're in Denver and you want to attend this happy hour event, there are tickets on Eventbrite, and I think that's on our show flyer as well, the little QR code or whatever. So go check it out. It's going on for the rest of the week. I'm going to be here for the rest of the week during happy hour, slinging samples and selling drinks. So yeah, come by and see us. And, like always, be nice to yourself. Put your mask on before assisting others. You cannot pour from an empty cup.
Yes. Cultivate love. Bring it to you. You deserve it.
You deserve it. Everybody deserves love. Everybody. I mean,
if you need it.
I mean that in every sense of the word. I may not be the one that could give it, but everybody
we'll
deserves
send you
it.
Virtual love. I can send you virtual love.
And as always, stay lifted and stay gifted.
Stay lifted, y'all.
We'll see you on Monday. Have a good rest of your week and a fantastic weekend. And fuck this snow.